Now, I'm a big fan of the planche slide exercise, but is it a good exercise if you want to get an advanced planche position? I'm going to answer that question today. So let's just first cover the basics. Now, I'm using furniture sliders. I've also got socks on, so I could go on this floor because it's concrete. You could go on a wooden floor or something with only socks. It is a little bit easier on the sliders. If you don't have sliders, you could use cardboard or a frisbee or a plastic lid or something. Just something that reduces the friction as you slide in and out. Now, positioning, when we start off, we want to get into a position like a planche lean. So I'm going to externally rotate the hands. I'm going to go up into full protraction. I'm going to put my toes on the sliders, ideally in a tiptoe position or pointed toe position, instead of having the toes turned over. So I'm pointing the toes first, so that's going to reduce the amount of weight I can put into my toes. I'm going to protract, so round the upper back, make sure the scapula hugs into the rib cage, and then lift the hips up into like top of the push-up position. Try and have an open hip, not a hinged hip. Try and have an open hip. And then from that position, staying in protraction, I'm going to slide in. Now notice there, my hips are staying this height. They're not coming down and they're not going up. So I'm trying to maintain the height of the hip. That's one of the things you'll struggle with to start with. And the other indicator that you're doing it incorrectly is the weight in your toes will increase instead of decreasing. So if I do a slide in, my weight in my toes should be decreasing as I come in, or at least staying the same. And ideally the hips don't go higher than the shoulders or lower than the shoulders. If they go lower, I'll tend to dump weight into my feet. If they go higher, I tend to dump weight into my feet. You want to feel like the energy is going up and forwards, more into a stronger protracted position. So for a lot of people, that could be the exercise. So if they're working towards a tuck planche, focusing on that protraction, sliding the feet in, keeping the weight the same, and doing like 5 repetitions there will be a good place to start. Now, if you're a bit more advanced with it, as we slide in, we want to try and reduce the weight in the toes and really pull the knees in towards the chest. Keep that hip at the same height as the knees, but see if we can even get a little bit of a lift off for a split second as we go into the tuck planche. So protracted position, nice open hip, slide forwards, reducing the weight in the toes. See if you can get a lift off, toes back, slide back again. So you could do repetitions of that. Or you could slide in and do a longer hold. So I think the tuck slide in that way is very good to compress and teach you to pull the knees in towards the chest, get the energy to go that way, enforce, strengthen the protracted position. A different variation that I've played with is the box version. Now with the box version, the angle's changing. So instead of going this way, we're going to go up. So I'm going to slide the toes up the box and take the energy up, but also forwards a little bit into protraction. Same position, I'm going to externally rotate the hands. I'm going to go into protraction. So a nice low box allows me to get into protraction at the start. And then I'm just going to bring the knees up to the chest. And then if I can, heels towards the butt. And back down again. Now I would say this one is slightly harder because you need to have more weight in your hands and shoulders and less weight in the feet to get some sort of slide and lift off. If you're just going for the slide, that's pretty good. But again, that's definitely harder than sliding in with toes on the sliders and doing the floor version. Now for my planche session today, I played around with doing different heights on the box because I haven't really used that one much and tried to open out to harder variations. So I done a tuck planche, a open tuck planche. The open tuck one I had, or advanced tuck position, I actually had my hips a little bit too high for. Then I went into the frog position, a straddle position where the hips are slightly high and the hips are a little bit too closed. And then I opened up into a max position and tried to get my hips fully open. But what I found with this variation is that it does gas you on the way up. I'm sure that is beneficial, that time under tension as you go up, but you're probably not going to get into your hardest variations you can do just off the floor when you do your normal planche training. So I think the planche slides are great if you're working towards the tuck planche or to strengthen to maybe advanced tuck flat back position. but I wouldn't use it to replace your planche holds when you're working towards frog, straddle, and more advanced planche holds. I would definitely use the box variation and going all the way up if you want to go into a planche press to handstand. And I think that's very beneficial if you're working things like stool to presses and press variations where the hip has to start lower and then go all the way up to handstand. Let me know down in the comments what you think to the planche slides. Let me know if you have any questions. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated. And I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.